thing I'll say is we are a world of close to 8 billion people of multiplicitous languages, but we're all human. And we find our common humanity, this sense of Ubuntu, this great gift that South Africa has given to the world, the idea of Ubuntu, that I am because we are, when we engage in our respective cultures. And so sharing language, sharing food, sharing history, sharing art, sharing sport, all of those things that only sort of make us human individually and make us human together. So I'm deeply grateful for this opportunity to share in our common humanity in your space, Honorable Minister, in your space, CEO, and thank you very much for allowing us to be here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This reminds me when I grew up, that accent, we were trying our best to make sure the accent is right. But that's a good thing, because one thing about South Africa is that it's a good space for what I'll call the teleservices, because South Africans have this diversity in terms of the tone. When they speak, and it comes from that era of trying these different tones, these different accents. Now we are leading in that space. But all I'm saying is that now I'm going closer to where business is and where deals are signed when I'm talking about the offices of the mayors. And on this note, I am inviting Mayor of the City of Atlanta, Mr. Andre Dickens. Woo-hoo. Thank you very much. Welcome, sir.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, Phambili. To all of you here, to you, the Honorable Minister Mackenzie here, and to all of the leadership that is here at Freedom Park, thank you for hosting us in this beautiful space that as we walked in, we already could see how beautiful this space is and how well it's designed architecturally. We get a breeze coming through here. It may be 97 degrees Fahrenheit outside, but inside of here you have beautiful breeze and the grounds are lovely. So thank you to the staff. Thank you to the staff that prepared the meals and everything there. To you, Minister Mackenzie, I just got to know you just briefly in our conversation that we just had. It's great to meet you. Great energy. Thank you for all the insight that you have shared about FIFA World Cup and about this beautiful South African nation. I look forward to future conversations with you and so many others here in this great country. The delegation from Atlanta, if you could wave your hands so everybody knows who the Atlanta people are. Yeah. We got a few over here, a few over there. You know, we are together, the Atlanta delegation and I are delighted to join you all this afternoon. And it seems quite fitting that we are here at Freedom Park in a space designed for reflection and for healing. It would be weird not to acknowledge our country's painful histories. Each of our stories are unique, but we are a testament to resilience together. You've got Freedom Park. In Atlanta, we have the National Center for Civil and Human Rights and the King Center. And we both have produced iconic leaders such as Nelson Mandela and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who were able to transcend our country's legacies and use their moral authority to unite people across racial lines. They use their voices and their power of influence to make global appeals for peace and justice. And on the wall outside, as I came in, you mentioned all of the names that are there. And on the wall, there's names under United States. And many of the United States names are Atlanta people. John Lewis, Martin Luther King Jr., Ralph David Abernathy, as well as the, yes, and who else did I say? I saw Hosea Williams, I saw Jean Charles Young, and many others under the United States. So maybe half or a third of the names listed from the United States are Atlanta-based people. And so they have done their work Now we have new generations to appeal to, new generations that are looking to use their voices too. And this time, through creative expression, a lot of that is occurring, through arts and through culture. And their creativity is contributing to our city's ecosystem and economy. In Atlanta, our creative industries are growing really fast and becoming a significant economic driver for us. Metro Atlanta has done a great job of positioning itself as the Hollywood of the South. And now we have more than 4 million square feet of sound stages for film and TV production. So much so that Hollywood wants to be us because we're #1 in TV and film in the nation. We produce more TV and film than anywhere else. And my administration really helps to facilitate the process via the Mayor's Office of Film and Entertainment. This is our one-stop shop of production help for anybody that's looking to film in the city. This office deals with permitting, with getting you assistance from any city department filmmakers and producers that need to work with, whether it's our police department, our fire department, or our Department of Transportation, or our parks and recreation where a lot of films are shot. Film and television production is one area where we have become a global leader, and we can offer opportunities for South African filmmakers and creative professionals also to do your work there. Around 90,000 people in Atlanta are employed in the creative industries, averaging about, at a minimum, $65,000 US a year. Of course, it isn't just movie and television production, though. It is music, visual arts and design, as well as digital media. Even the culinary arts. I see some great chefs in here. Celebrity chef Lorna Maseko, who we saw last night, who prepared a wonderful meal for us at the Nelson Mandela Foundation. She is a part of our extended Atlanta family and is also a part of this delegation and has brought a South African flavor to Atlanta's lively food and food culture. Because the creative industries are so important in Atlanta, our development authority, Invest Atlanta, where I serve as the chairman, has made the sector a strategic priority for us. Invest Atlanta has dedicated resources that provide financing for small businesses in the creative industries, and Invest Atlanta also partners with the Mayor's Office of Film and Entertainment and the Office of Cultural Affairs to make these things possible, to help independent content creators and as well as artists and art organizations. So we are truly making Atlanta a global entertainment hub, and there's something about that that makes us really proud. Not only is it about our entertainment, but we're also becoming a big sports hub as well. As I was talking with the minister, you had the World Cup and did a phenomenal job here in South Africa. Well, now the baton is being passed to the United States, and Atlanta is going to be a major part of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, where we will host 8 games, including the semifinals. We're also hosting the Super Bowl in 2028 and a number of events between now and then, as well as being the home of the U.S. Soccer Federation's training. So all of that means that Atlanta is doing a lot in the creative spaces, sports, entertainment, and we share that with South Africa as that's something that's important to you as well. So I've said all this to say that this is a tremendously great opportunity for us. There's a lot of potential for us to explore our creative and economic partnerships and look for collaborations that really make sense for both of our cities and our nations and our communities. Thank you again for welcoming my team and I, our whole delegation, and I look forward to seeing where we go from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was our special way of introducing the U.S. mission amongst us. It's not just the ambassador. There are others that are accompanying the ambassador. Of course, the mayor. That was our way of introducing the Atlanta delegation. About 10 people are on this delegation, but there are also other stakeholders, about 24 people. Not all of them are here, but they are here if they are part of this delegation, but doing something else today, which is connected to Phambili. And this note, I want to do what I have to balance, introducing the minister, but complying with what I was told that today we are speed doing, we are speed dating, we are speed talking, we are doing everything with speed. So when I'm introducing minister, I'm gonna say For the sake of the delegation, please be aware, you are not just speaking to a politician, you are speaking to an executive. He has been an executive mayor at one time in his life. Please be aware that you are talking to a shrewd business person. So he will be doing the talking on behalf of us if he realizes that there is a knot to be untied. Thank you, Minister. But he's not alone. He is with some institutions here that are part of the minister. I mentioned the National Film and Video Foundation, KZN Film Commission, Gauteng Film Commission, Western Cape Film Commission. There's a note, but they are part of us, even if they are going to join Africa. RSA, we do have the Association of Independent Companies of South Africa, ECHO, and we also have South African Music Industry Council.
Good afternoon, everyone. You know, most Mayor Andre Dickens, I've met you, and what impressed me the most was just your eagerness to break our record as having had the best World Cup ever. So your willingness to learn. So I want to welcome you and your lovely wife. And I also would like to my dear friend, you know, Ambassador, when I heard that you resigned, this can normally post, but I want to say to you, you're one giant of a man. And it's a privilege for me. It's a great privilege that you call me your friend, because that's exactly how I view you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the time. And South Africa will be a bit poorer with you not being here. But thank you for your time spent here. Thank you. And to the people that came with the mayor, the people from Atlanta. You know, I like one thing about Americans, they're full of energy. Americans. And they got something I like that we need to get. There's something that all Americans have that we need to really steal from them. We will say, make it quick. Americans don't say that. They have a word called real quick. Make it real quick. I'm like, yeah, real quick. So I have, you know, for me, that is it speaks to many things. And I want to thank our host, our hostess, the CEO, as Jane Mufumadi. Thank you for giving us that history. I don't hear it for the first time, but every time I hear it, it does something to me. It does something to me. This is truly a place of great reflection. And thank you for giving her that soccer lesson about Chencha Guluva. She doesn't know who Chencha Guluva is. And that is not giving away my age, because we are the same age. It gives away my love for football. Kaiser Mutaung's name is Chencha Guluva. And Atlanta, the biggest team on the continent is Kaizer Chiefs. I say that very begrudgingly, but because I don't like the team, but I respect them. They're the biggest. And it was born out of the inspiration that Kaiser Mutaung got in Atlanta. And for the entertainment and the tears that Kaizer Chiefs has cost us, we want to thank you and curse you at the same time for that. I always say that, you know, many years ago, Your Worship, many years ago, what we call hustling, still hustling. So my best friend was recently released from prison just before I came out first, and he came out. And he says, what do you do with your life? I said, listen, man, I'm speaking at schools, I'm speaking at places. Then they pay me. He's like, no, you need a manager. I said, okay. But that man is going to want, he says, no, I'll be your manager. And it was not even a month. He came to me and says, I got a gig for you. I said, what do you mean you got a gig for me? He said, check your account. And I saw 50,000 rands, and I was used to getting like 3,000, which is like 150 US. And now I've got like 50,000 rand in my account. He says, and I've already taken my manager's fee. I'm like, okay. Well, so we go to Cyprus. So as I was sitting there, DDG was introducing me. I got triggered again. Because when they introduced me in Cyprus, my first trip overseas, speaking, the lady said, our next speaker, Mr. Gateson McKenzie, he's got a PhD, and I didn't go to university. And I'm sitting there, there's a hall full of people that is waiting to listen to this PhD holder. And this I thought like, I'm sitting there like, I don't have a PhD, how the... And then she says, and on top of that, he's got an MBA. And I look at him, I said, Kenny, what did you do? He says, go and speak like a guy with an MBA. Go and speak like a guy with a PhD. And I said, but you can't do that. He said, well, you didn't complain when the money was in your account. So go work for that money, boy. So I rocked up a stage, took the mic, having 500 esteemed people in front of me. I said, well, indeed, I do have an MBA. I do have a PhD. My PhD is not your PhD. My PhD stands for passed high school with difficulty. My MBA stands for married but available. So, Ambassador, I'm always wary when I get introduced. What is going to come out of there? So, I would like to welcome the rest of South Africans here. And you know, I spoke to the mayor, and he was really, which was humbling for me. Because people are usually arrogant, know what to do, we got it all covered. He was curiously wanting to know how we got it right. And that meant a lot to me. And just the humility in saying, share with us. And I did share. I think I overshared. So if day one is better than us, I plead guilty. But I want to say this. That same humility, Your Worship, that you've shown by wanting to learn. As a minister, one of my key priorities, I think is top 3 on my list, is to change the film industry in our country. Yes. We have rich stories. We are a well of stories. We have rich history. We have a lot of stories that needs to be told, but finance is preventing that from being told. And I am so pleased, and I humbly ask you that I lead the first real, not holiday, because we can learn from you. You are bigger than Hollywood, and numbers don't lie. And we just hear about Hollywood here. And now we have the mayor of the city here. Now, why am I happy? I'm happy because in our culture, Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry that you're going to be a victim of that culture. When you have a wedding, your culture, you must send invites. And people must RSVP. Once you send the invite to us, we are coming. No RSVP or no. And we are bringing people along. When my best friend got married, and there was a lot of guys coming in the street, and I said to him, who's these people? He says, I don't know. I said, this is your wedding, how can you not know? And I walked over to them, I said, guys, what you doing here? They're like, we came to the wedding. I said, who invited you? They said, the music you were playing? Don't play such nice music if you don't want us to come here. So the words, the sweet words that you've mentioned, we as Africans in this room, we are self-inviting us to Atlanta. You will work out where we're going to sit and all of those things, because I would want to lead the first delegation in February to Atlanta, paid for by my department, and we will then, DDG, look at the criteria, but I don't want it to be government officials only. I want it to be people that has the potential to come and tell our stories, and not people that are politically connected to my party or other parties. It should be people that are politically connected to their work. And I want to say, keep me to that. The mayor has become my brother in a very short space of time. So we are going to my brother's house in Atlanta. I would also want to say that, you know, many people look at me, Mr. Mayor, Ambassador knows, I grew up being in conflict with the law. And I went to prison at a very young age. And I spent my whole youth in a maximum security facility. And people look at me and they ask me, how come that you've become such a huge, successful businessman? How come that you've become one of the best authors in Africa? How come that you have become a minister, a cabinet minister? And I never knew how to answer that question. creative export out of America is hip-hop. You can go to Iran, there's hip-hop. You can go to North Korea, there's hip-hop. Not in the street, but in the rooms. You can go everywhere. And the favor that black Americans has done for American diplomacy, they can never repay. What they have done was hip-hop, because it's everywhere. And it's the biggest and greatest export. And it's just a pity it's not being taken advantage of to tell that part of the story, of what hip-hop has done for American relations. Our children grow up when the DDG was speaking about the accent. We all know what she meant. Because our children grew up with like, you know what I'm saying? No, Mom, come on. And because we want to be the Sugar Hill Gang, the Jay-Z's. That's what our young people aspire to be, because they're inspirational people. So I just want to thank the South Africans here and say, please, use this opportunity. We coach, you know, the people that made the food. You hear about the culinary arts. Ask questions about that. There's no stupid question in the world. But I give you the assurance that this government is taking arts and culture very serious. You know, and if you don't believe what I'm saying, just look at what is the first act that the president, His Excellency Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, did to show you how serious he takes this. He has appointed the most capable Minister of Sport.
Yes, I can say he has brought a spark in this environment. He has brought a spark in this environment. It's up to you to measure the degree depth of that spark, but the spark is there. Thank you very much. And now I think I want to say to you, as whether as South Africans we were there or we were not there, one thing that we know and we always want to not forget are those that stood behind the freedom struggle of this country. And we know that Americans have been there. One thing that we do not want to forget are those who fought for anything that made us to have the freedom that we have. That's why now I am going to make a special invitation that I am making with a kind of, I don't know, split emotions, because when you commemorate and remember someone that has been dear to you, sometimes you cry, sometimes you laugh. Yesterday, we were remembering that on that day of the 5th of November 2013, at the icon, our father, Nelson Mandela, whom I know Americans stand up as well when that name is mentioned, passed on. So as we walk, as I invite our guests to the memorial wall, I am walking with that mixed emotion sense of in my being. But I want to say that is where we are concluding this formal part by saying this is the time for us as well to reveal the soul of this nation. That is the message I am leading with as I invite our US delegation to work with Minister, the CEO of the Freedom Park, leading us to the memorial wall. The South Africans minister said we have that art of inviting ourselves. We shall invite ourselves after the speed dating. At that time, you will also take your good partner after speed dating to the memorial wall. For now, we request the South Africans to remain seated, just final touches in preparation for the speed marketing. CEO, I hope we are ready, and I invite the two tables to meet the CEO at the door, and from there you are led by capable hands. Thank you very much. And I leave the team that is organizing to come take the stage, the microphone, and just redirect beyond the direction I have given to us as South Africans that will go to the wall after